everybody. Welcome. Here we go. It is that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live on this. Sorry if I sound a little discombobulated. There's multiple things involving technology happening at once. I'll explain in a moment. But we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, and also on Comcast 97 in Manchester. This is the first time all week I've been able to say that. And, of course, we are also live on the Facebook, on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. I have been able to say that earlier in the week, but not without a disclaimer. But if you are watching us online, you can see that things are back to normal. I came in this afternoon. No one told me, probably because I think everyone knows I like a surprise when I come into the studio and there's good news. And so I come in this afternoon and, let me fix that. That's not what we want. I came in this afternoon and here we are. The cameras are working again and everything. So that was a wonderful surprise to come into. What I am trying to figure out is why I still, and this doesn't have anything to do, it's just Facebook being glitchy. It has nothing to do with the camera situation. Oh, geez. It has nothing to do with the camera situation, but for some reason, I cannot see the comments on my browser, on my computer, the Facebook Live comments. I can only see them on the big screen here. So I'm going to miss a lot of people's comments if I only look at that screen. So I'm trying to see if I'm trying to figure out why here. Use a text message. Text me a login code. A login code was sent to your phone. I'm going to try on this browser here. The browser that I use on my computer, actually a couple different ones. Jeez. I can't see the comments, but that's happened before. Okay, don't save. And that's just, I believe, Facebook being glitchy. But I'm going to try on this computer and see if the comments show up on this computer. So I apologize, everybody, for I know for people just listening in their cars on the during their afternoon commute. This is all kind of annoying. I'm a little OCD about this stuff. I want to see if I can. All right, comments. Will they show up on this browser over here, or am I going to have the same issue? I'll be damned. Got it. Okay, I can see them on this browser. I don't really like using that browser, but I will. Okay. So let me, all right, so I'm going to close that out. I apologize, everybody. Hey, but I know everybody in the Facebook Live chat is happy that things are back to normal there. So as am I, believe me. All right, so here's the deal, as our President Joe Biden would say. So yes, we are live on WMNH 95.3 in Manchester and back on Comcast 97. Also streaming online. If you go to mattconnarton.com and click Listen Live, you can see all the live streaming options. Of course, we're streaming at WMNHradio.org and, and hello to our friends at Raw Talk Online and of course, on the Facebook, on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. Christian Lacoste says, clear your cache. That's not the issue. I think it's just Facebook. It's happened before, but I can see it on this browser. But I use two different browsers on the Lenovo, and the chat won't load on either one. It's odd, but who knows why? Who knows? But like I said, multiple things happening with technology today, because also, here, let me put the camera on me there for the Facebook feed. I also, I rushed here. Well, basically, I went to the Verizon store on South Willow Street, locally here in Manchester, to get a new phone, which I was not expecting to do today. So I am incredibly unprepared for today's show because, so we're winging it. We're winging it, but it's Friday. We'll have fun with it, but we're winging it. I had no time to do show prep. I had to go and get a new phone, and then I went and got the new phone, and then I ran home to get my computer and other various sundries. Fridays are a long day for me here because I do this show, and then I do Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C tonight from 8 to 10. I'm on that show as well. So, but what happened is this afternoon, my phone, now my old phone, basically it wasn't charging. And I noticed a while ago that it was charging very slowly, or kind of slowly, but it was charging. I'd put it on the charger, it would charge, but it didn't seem to be charging as quickly as it used to. And then today I noticed that I was using my phone. I went to use my phone and the screen was dim, which happens when the battery gets low. And then I go to manually, brighten it, and it's at 2%. And I'm like, why is it at 2%? I've barely used it in the last. So, like I woke up this morning and the battery was low, and I was like, that's very strange. It wasn't that low last night. So then I go to put it on the charger, and after about 5 minutes, it got all the way up from 2% to 3%. And I said, yep. Time for a new phone. So I had a Samsung Galaxy S8, which I'd had for a while. The S8 is an older model. So this is the new Samsung Galaxy S21 that I got. And so I come here. So I go to the Verizon store. I do that. I run home and say hello to Jenny and eat something and get my stuff. And then I come here, and then before the show, I'm transferring. They make it very easy now. You just put the old phone and the new phone next to each other, and you do a couple things on the new phone and a couple things on the old phone, and it transfers everything for you. So hopefully it transferred everything successfully. The last time I had to do that, when I got a new phone, yes, Dan Lavasser, it is 5G. The last time I had to do that when I got a new phone, I lost like a third of my contacts or something. So hopefully everything transferred successfully this time. Hopefully I did it correctly. But yeah, so I was rushing with that and trying to get that taken care of, because the thing is, I'm very sort of OCD. Like when something like that happens, I need to take care of it right away. And I knew I was going to be in a time crunch because obviously I have to be here. I got to go live at 4 p.m. Can't be late. That's not an option in radio. You go on when you go on. When you're supposed to, right? So I'm rushing around, and I made the spontaneous decision to go to Verizon, not knowing what I was going to be walking into, because it is the COVID era, and a lot of these places now, you can't just walk in like you used to be able to. I used to just walk into Verizon and say, "Hey, I'm here. I'm having a problem with my phone, or I need a new phone, or whatever." I didn't know what was going to happen today, but I took the risk. I just drove there. I showed up. And it was very, very slow there. So, and the gentleman told me, his name is Jonathan. He said, we do, it's more appointments nowadays than walk-ins because of COVID. So we encourage people to make appointments, but when it's slow as far as appointments, we can take walk-ins. And so your timing was great because we happen to be really slow today. So I was like, oh, awesome. So I was in and out of there relatively quickly and was still able to get home and then come here, and everything's good, except, like I said, I didn't have a chance to do any show prep. So, but that's okay. We'll there's always plenty to do and talk about on the fly. But I do want to also shout outs to Verizon on South Willow Street here in Manchester. And I'm not saying that for any other reason than I was impressed with their service. They're not a sponsor. I don't get any money from them. We don't get any money from them. But when a business provides exceptional A-plus service, I like to acknowledge them, even if it's a national chain that clearly does not need my help, because it's kind of rare. I mean, there aren't that many businesses where you can go, at least in my experience, and get like great service. A lot of businesses offer good service or good enough service or just okay service or not great service, But But when somebody offers really great service, that was much easier than I was expecting. So I told Jonathan at Verizon, I said, I'll give you a shout out today on the radio. So the Verizon store on South Willow Street, go see Jonathan. Very nice man, and was able to help me quickly and efficiently. And I walked out of there with a new phone and very, very happy. And I didn't have to pay anything up front for it. Thank goodness. It'll all show up in the bill. That great big bill. The old phone was paid off, so that bill was small. The new bill will be larger. But hey, what can you do? So after the show, I will finish playing with my new phone, and I'm very excited. It is bigger. I'm not used to having something this big. Not the first time I've said that. I am Irish after all, but hey, I'm excited about it. Very, very excited. Speaking of phones, if you'd like to call into the show today, 603-250-6007 is the numbre, 603-250-6007. You can also send us a text at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton, or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. Speaking of email, I have an email from my father. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. If you were watching online, you saw me frantically getting set up here and trying to get ready to go. So I was finishing up with my phone. Ooh, Wayne Noel in the chat room says, hi, Wayne. Wayne's a top fan from Michigan. He says, you'll be impressed with the camera. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. I look forward to that. So, no, it's fun to get a new phone. New electronics are always a lot of fun. The guy at Verizon was impressed with how worn out the Galaxy S8 was. That had it for a while, and no, it was not worth anything on the trade-in. That's okay. But yeah, so multiple ways to get in touch, but best thing to do, give us a call, 603-250-6007. Also, you can, let me mention the sponsors. Our big sponsor here on this show, of course, the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street. They have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have an assortment of craft beer. They have wine. It's a great place. And we have our first call of the day today on the program. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, this is Eazy-G.
Eazy-G, Eric Gagnon. How are you, my friend? Great entertainment report yesterday, by the way. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback. A lot of people, I said after the entertainment report that of all the reports you've done, yesterday's was by far the most recent.
Oh, wow.
The most recent.
Yeah, I just Facebook Messenger Christian Lacrosse, and
yes.
Hopefully you can help me with my tablet.
Oh,
remember he said he's going to help me out, so I Facebooked him Messenger, and hopefully he'll get back to me.
Yes, your wonderful tablet.
God knows I need help.
Purchased for you by the great Brian McKay.
Right. Seems like you gave me that tablet like 6 years ago. So.
Was it? I thought Peter White was going to help you with the tablet.
Yeah, well, he didn't. That didn't work out either. So.
Right. Now, what happened there? Why?
Well, I didn't have the password, so he wasn't able to help me with figuring that out. So.
Oh, that's right.
It didn't work out. So.
You need the password. The password, I think I know. I believe the password is "the red fox flies at midnight." Try that, but you got to capitalize each individual word.
Once I figure out this password, then I'll be able to use the tablet. Because right now it's just kind of a. Yeah, it's not working.
Brian Mackey,
it's working, but it doesn't. I can't do anything with it because it's turned on, but without a password, you can't do anything. Use it.
We got you. We got you covered, Eric. Brian Mackey is in the chat room, so he's the one who bought it for you, so he knows. The password is LOL space ha 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 ha. Try that.
Oh, all right, yeah.
That's the password.
I shall try that after then, yeah.
Yeah. And that should get you
right in. I don't know
in.
if you heard the AEW is supposed to have two surprises for the ladder match, and they're teasing it to say that it's going to be it's going to blow your mind. I don't know if you heard that little tease.
Yeah.
Everybody's wondering who the heck could it be.
Tony Khan is, apparently, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I misread it. Brian is correcting me. The password is ha 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 ha, not ha 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 ha.
All right.
So Tony Khan is teasing that it's going to be a huge surprise. Could it be CM Punk finally in AEW?
Yeah, but they said it's not because he's doing a movie.
Who do you think it is, Eric?
They said it could be that guy that was just in the Royal Rumble, Edge's buddy there.
Christian Cage, as he was known in
right. It could be him. Yep.
It could be him. Yeah.
Or it could be the a one-time appearance of Shawn Michaels, but I kind of doubt it.
Oh yeah, Shawn Michaels will not be appearing in AEW. I'm sure he has a long-term contract with WWE.
Right, but Christian Cage does not have a contract with just a one-day appearance.
Yeah, and he looks to be in great shape too, Christian or Christian.
Yeah.
Do you know his real name?
One guy on the Facebook said
Jay Rizzo.
Doink the Clown.
Doink the Clown. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. Well, and then one guy said maybe it will be the who knows who it will be. But a lot of people are complaining and said it better be somebody good.
I know. It'll be. They've really built it up huge, like it's going to be this enormous, earth-shattering surprise.
But maybe it'll be somebody that will only be there for that pay-per-view and then the exit.
Oh, that could
Kinda
be
like the Royal Rumble.
That could be. We'll see.
A one-day appearance, even if it was CM Punk, maybe it was a one-time thing, and then see you later.
Mm-hmm.
Cash in, big prize of money, big bag of money.
The only other hint that Tony Khan really gave is it's somebody with a Hall of Fame level career, not a Hall of Famer,
right.
Somebody who's still active, but a Hall of Fame level career.
Well, that'd be Christian Cage. He's a Hall of Famer, isn't
he? Is he in the WWE Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
I know Edge is. He should be. Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see what happens. Oh, yeah, I want to give a shout-out, too, to the hippo. I Facebooked him a couple weeks ago and said, why is there no hippos downtown after being absent for 2 weeks?
Yeah, you had beef.
I guess somebody took care of that because now there's hippos on the bins downtown.
So does this mean that your beef with the hippo has been squashed? The beef is squashed?
They took care of the hippos downtown now, so there you go.
Thank goodness. Well, that crisis is over. Everything's on the upswing.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're looking for some, they're having a virtual event at the Fisher Cats. If you're looking to, it's on the Fisher Cat side. They're not hiring for the concession stands right now, I guess. But
you
get a hold of the Fisher Cats on their website, and you can have a virtual meeting with them on March 10th, and they're looking for some workers there.
I'd be careful about getting a hold of a Fisher Cat. I hear they're very dangerous.
Yeah.
Sharp
just
teeth.
on the website.
Oh, I thought you meant, well, that's true. It is the COVID era, so you'd have to just do that virtually.
Yeah, and then it was big news on the vaccine that me and Peter and a friend of mine and actually other people, Phase 2B, I guess, on the 22nd.
Lucky.
Between that and the next 5 days, the state's going to reach out to me, and going to the Hitchcock Clinic, and they're going to set me up for a vaccine shot.
Very good, very good. Jenny
There's a lot available right now, so thank you, Joe Biden.
Jenny is getting hers within a couple of weeks, I think, less than 2 weeks now. Yeah,
you'll have to wait a little longer because you're not 50 yet, so.
Yep, I'm too young.
But it should be available sooner than later. So that's great news.
And I only have asthma, so that's not a big deal. It's not like COVID-19 attacks the lungs or anything.
Well, I got a collection of health problems myself. So.
Actually, it is exactly like that. But I only have one thing wrong with me. Apparently, you need two or more things wrong with you. I only have the one thing wrong with me. I just have the asthma. So So that's okay.
Dragon Dion got his shot yesterday. So
yes. Did he get his second shot yesterday or his first?
His first, yeah.
Oh, his first. Okay.
He's the only person I know that's gotten the vaccine that I know in my circle of people.
Well, Daryl is in his 70s, so he was high priority.
He'll be 72, I believe.
The big 7-2.
Yes.
Very
so
good.
that's great news. So hopefully that will be taken care of, and then eventually you'll be getting a phone call.
Yeah, sometime.
Yeah.
Eventually.
So Jenny's going to get her shot in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think it's less than 2 weeks now. I think it's like the
Excellent.
17th, maybe. Yeah.
I'm a little nervous about it, but hopefully it will won't be any issues.
Ben Dion, Daryl's son, of course, and host of the Weekly Don, is in the Facebook live chat and says he's very old, referring to his father, Daryl. Yes.
Yeah. Well, eventually we're all going to get to that age. Eventually, too, there, Ben Dion's son.
If we're lucky. If we're lucky.
Yeah. True. Yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They were talking today about the Queen's husband. He's 99 years old. And he had to get some heart surgery. So that's pretty scary at 99 years old.
Yeah, I think at 99, you just it's just time to let him go. I'm kidding.
Well, the Queen's never going to die, by the way. She's 94. She's been the Queen since she was like 15.
Wow.
And I know her son is hoping to be the king, but he'll die first, and she's going to just live forever.
Would that be Prince Charles? I'm not a Anglophile.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's all figurehead jobs. They don't have any power.
Right. Well, apparently their main job is tormenting Meghan Markle.
And they've been hyping this thing on Sunday. I got to watch a few minutes of it. The royal couple that left town, they're going to live in California now, going to be on with Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, the youngest royal couple there.
They should have they should go on the Howard Stern show. That's because Howard is the best interviewer in broadcasting. Yeah. Do you agree?
Well, they probably didn't want to answer the questions that he would be answering, so they went with Oprah instead. But according to the hype of the show, no question is off limits. So we'll see what happens.
Well, to me,
I know they already taped it. It's in the can, as they say.
I just want to say, to me, Meghan Markle, she will always be Rachel on Suits. Rachel Zane on Suits.
Yeah, she was definitely a big star even before she became the royal.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. So that's my excitement for the day, and I'll let you go and have a good weekend.
All right, Eazy-G. Thank you for the call. Take care. All right, Eazy-G, Eric Gagnon leaves us. That opens up a line for you, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Happy to take your calls, especially today. As I mentioned, if you're just joining us, I'm woefully underprepared. I had the kerfuffle with my phone. I had to go get a new phone, and that took up what would normally be my time preparing for the show. I actually do show prep. I know it might not seem like it sometimes, but I usually like to have about somewhere between 8 to 12 different news stories prepared that we can explore. And then we get on the air and it just all kind of goes out the window because then other things are happening or we're reacting to other things or somebody will say something in the Facebook live chat that's interesting and then we'll discuss that instead or we'll get a call. But or Eazy-G will call. By the way, I did, of course, if you missed yesterday's show, Eazy-G did a truly remarkable entertainment report, and I even made a clip of it and posted it to the YouTube because Eazy-G mistakenly, and I know he feels badly about it, he declared that Jim Cornette, host of a wonderful podcast called The Jim Cornette Experience, had died. And I was very upset. Jim Cornette actually is not dead, as it turns out. He had him confused with a different Jim. So it was another Jim, but Jim Cornette is still alive. And I'm very happy about that. But let's see. Well, let's say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. And I don't usually use this browser over here for that, but it's the one we're going to have to use because it's, let me just, no, I'll check it again later on my computer. But let's see. So our friend Christian Lacoste, who was here yesterday on the show, he is in the Facebook live chat. Christian's asking, what did I do with my old phone? Oh, it's with me. What I had to do, I mean, the technology is wonderful. I had to place the two phones, the old phone and the new phone, next to each other. And they just connected. It used to be a bigger deal when you had to transfer everything from one phone to the other phone. Now it's like super easy. I couldn't believe it when the guy told me. He's like, you put the two phones next to each other and you do da-da-da-da-da on one phone and da-da-da-da-da on the other phone and blah. That isn't exactly how he explained it, but I don't remember whatever technical jargon he used. So I'm just summing it all up as blah. I'm very excited about my phone, though. You can probably tell. Let's see. Tom Blanchard says, so Channel 97 doesn't work in Goffstown. That is an outrage. It should work in Goffstown. Damn it. I did turn channel 97 on, didn't I? Just want to make sure I turned it on. It uses the, because while we haven't been able to use Facebook Live, we haven't been able to use channel 97 either, because it's the all on the same camera system. I did turn it on, yeah. So I guess you're just SOL if you're in Goffstown, New Hampshire, even though I know at least part of Goffstown has a Manchester zip code. So, you should be able to participate, but apparently not. Dan Lavasser, I did mention, is in the chat room. Christian Lacoste says, I can't wait to work at a cell phone store now, LOL. Yes, Christian has a new job at a cell phone store. Wayne, I mentioned, Wayne is a top fan from Michigan, says you'll be impressed with the camera. Christian says the S20 has the best camera in the game. Oh, yeah. I always feel badly that I'm not sure I'm pronouncing his name anywhere near correctly, but Abdulbagi Hamad says, you got a phone. Yes. Yes. Brian Mackey, who is a top fan all the way from Idaho, is in the Facebook live chat. Brian appears to be a bit perplexed by Eazy-G's perplexement, if that is a word, over the password situation there. Brian Mackey says he's got a new iPhone 12 Pro Max. Ooh. That sounds very fancy. Eric Street, who is a top fan, is asking Brian, will that be Eazy-G's next gift? I don't think... I have a suspicion. And, it's just a theory. I could be wrong, going out on a limb here, but I don't imagine that people will be buying any more electronics for Eazy-G going forward. Tom Blanchard is in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Tom. Ben Dion, I did mention. Ben, of course, the host of the weekly Dion, which you can hear live Thursday nights at 6 p.m. right here on WMNH. Ben says he's got 39 years to catch up to his dad. Wow. Oh, wow. So Daryl had Ben. Daryl was 39 years old when Ben Dion came into the world. That's remarkable. Mr. Hamad says, I have questions. How can American people who live overseas get vaccines? I don't know. I mean, if you live in America, you can barely get it. So it's a good question. Ben Dion says, is Eric going to update us on the Amanda McCarthy tour dates in the South? Probably not today. Eric really only gives us the Amanda McCarthy tour dates once a week, and I think it's because he knows if he does it more than that, he'll, he doesn't want to spoil us, is what I'm getting at. John Midas Manning, better known as DJ Midas, is in the Facebook live chat. Midas was on the morning show with Peter White. What was it, yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday. Right? I think it was yesterday. Midas, of course, host of Late Night Delight, which you can hear every Saturday night from 12 midnight all the way to 4 a.m. here on WMNH, with a replay on Sunday night. And Midas and Peter White, they've known each other since they were kids. Lifelong friends. Angela Philbrook, who is a top fan, is in the chat, says, yes, Channel 97 is working in Manchester. Excellent, excellent. Well, we have an email here from my father. I don't think I've ever in my life gotten an email from my dad. Now my dad, by the way, he did get a cell phone for the first time maybe 7 or 8 years ago. It was a big deal for him. And then he started texting and whatnot. All these things he said he would never do. He's on the Facebook now. It's very impressive. But now he's sending email. I mean, I'm sure he sends email at work and whatnot, but I don't think I've ever gotten an email from him. Let's see what he had to say. This was sent actually late last night at 10:05 p.m., but I didn't realize it was in here until now. He says, it's supposed to be, hi, Matt. Oh, he might have been using voice to text for the email. Hi, Matt. I have 2 songs for you to consider in the realm or world of music. Number 1, a group I think you at least respect if you don't like completely, entitled Name? They have a great lead singer. I don't know. That's very much like Prince. We both love Prince. I miss him so much, and that's a long story, of course, but he's got that kind of falsetto and range. He's really good. It looks like somebody I know, but I can't place it. He's got a very distinct appearance, but the band is good. The song I want you to listen to and look at the video for is Always on My Mind. I love that song. I love the video. It's terrific, absolutely terrific. The other artist is Angel Olsen, another talented cutie pie for sure. In her song, All Mirrors, it reminds me of the great tradition of a very troubled creative man who was famous for the Wall of Sound in the 60s. I think you know who I mean. And one of the greatest songs ever by the Ronettes, Be My Baby. I know you may not like it, but my dad always does that. He always throws that qualifier in. I know you might not like it, but I think you know who I mean. And one of the greatest songs ever by the Ronettes. Oh, I'm sorry, I already read that part. I know you may not like it, but I love that song. But I'm loving the indie alternative music, and some of the Americana-style music is pretty darn good. So I will stop on that. Keep up the good work. Al has listened to your radio show. I don't know if Lindsay or Ryan have done that as yet. Those are siblings of mine. They expressed support, but I don't know if they've listened. I will get on that one, too. Peace and love out for now, Dad. Yeah, my dad, by the way, so my dad's in his 70s, but what's cool about my dad, and he's always been like this, is he loves to listen to new music. He lives on the Seacoast area, and he listens to the big college station there, WUNH, at University of New Hampshire, and he loves to hear new stuff. He did mention Be My Baby by the Ronettes, but you generally you won't catch my dad listening to oldies. He's always really liked new music, and and it's not like he's like old and trying to fit in either. He's sincere about it. He loves hearing new stuff. We didn't have that thing that some kids have with their parents, where their parents don't like the music that the kids are listening to because they just want to listen to stuff from their from their own childhood or whatnot. Because people get stuck, like people. They get to age 30 and then they're like, okay, I'm not going to like any new music after this. But my dad's never been like that. He always likes to hear new stuff. So when I was growing up, we actually liked a lot of the same music. In fact, my dad is the one who got me into Kiss, because Kiss is my all-time favorite band. And my dad, only a casual fan. He likes Kiss, but I don't think he has any of their stuff. But I remember it was the 80s, and I was on the living room floor. It was after school, maybe early evening, and I was watching MTV. And the video for Tears Are Falling by Kiss was, this would have been, 85? Was on MTV. And I remember my dad coming home from work, and he kind of poked his head into the living room, and he said, Maddie, who is that? Is that Kiss? And I said, yeah. I said, this is the new song. And he said, yeah, I heard this the other day and I really like this song. And I said, oh yeah, me too. It's like my favorite song right now. So then my dad, for Christmas that year, he got me Kiss Asylum, which is the album that song is on. And then Kiss became my favorite band. But it all started with my dad also liking that song very much. I remember, Eddie Van Halen passed away in 2020, and I have this memory of when I was a kid. I had borrowed Van Halen. They had a live, at that time it was VHS. They had a live VHS of a concert they had done in New Haven, Connecticut, and it was called Van Halen Live Without a Net. And a friend of mine had loaned it to me, and I watched it. I remember on a Sunday night, my dad let me stay up extra late because we watched it together and loved it, the whole thing, Van Halen Live Without a Net. And then my dad was like, he liked it so much that at the end of it, he was like, we should watch a little bit of that again. And I'm thinking, wow, it's getting late, but I guess he's going to let me stay up a little late for a school night. And we ended up watching the entire thing, the whole 90 minutes or whatever it was again. Meanwhile, my stepmother, Debbie, she hated that kind of thing. Not that she hated Van Halen. I don't know if I don't know what she liked for music, but she didn't like me being up late past my bedtime. For some reason, this really annoyed her. And she liked to knit. She would knit when she was angry. So, my dad and I are watching Van Halen and really enjoying the concert, and Debbie's on the couch just knitting like furiously. Like, she's very angry. She was an angry knitter. You could tell. You could see the aggression. It was remarkable. But, you know, hey, she could knock out a scarf or a sweater in record time because she was just so pissed off, just knitting like really fast. And it was sometimes on a Saturday night, you know, I loved growing up. I always loved to watch Saturday Night Live. And, you know, when I was really young, the rule was, you know, I could watch the monologue and up to the first commercial break, and then I had to go to bed. And that kept getting later and later. My dad would kind of loosen up, you know, as I got older. Obviously, he'd let me stay up later and later. But Debbie didn't like it. And Debbie, she'd be sitting there on the couch knitting angrily, and she'd say, "What time you going to bed tonight, Matt?" While she's knitting. "What time you going to bed?" And, you know, I wouldn't say any, I was a good kid. I didn't talk back like ever, but I'd be sitting there thinking things like, you know, I'll go to bed. But first I'd like to see you take one of those knitting needles and shove them up your, never mind. But, anyway, so moving on. But lots to talk about, of course, in the news, as always. Let's see. I'm not sure what to go with first because, like I said, I mean, I was in such a rush running in here today. Apparently, Andrew Cuomo, I know we've talked about it a lot this week, but Governor Andrew Cuomo in New York, apparently the Democrats, not the Republicans, the Democrats in the state of New York, they've got the knitting needles out, and they have sharpened them up for Andrew Cuomo. They're about to strip him of his powers in terms of his handling of COVID-19. And I guess it, you know, specifically about, you know, the sexual harassment stuff continues to get worse and worse as more people are coming out. But I want to just be clear on what exactly they're trying to do. Democrats to strip power. But it's not even like, I mean, you know, you're in trouble when your own party is trying to do this to you. Yeah, let's see what CNBC has to say about this. So they're reporting New York lawmakers move to strip Governor Cuomo of emergency COVID powers as sexual harassment, death data scandals roil the state. So it says here, New York state lawmakers begin debate over a move to strip Governor Andrew Cuomo of emergency powers he invoked last year to deal with the COVID pandemic. That would make Dave Ridley very happy, by the way, because he doesn't want government doing anything about anything. The effort came as the Democratic governor dealt with two major scandals, a cover-up of coronavirus nursing home death data by his administration and accusations by three women that he sexually harassed them. Cuomo earlier this week refused to resign over the harassment allegations, but apologized. Okay, so here's what... Charles Richardson is in the Facebook live chat from, of course, Raw Talk Online and the Charles Richardson Show. He says, Andrew is going to strip. New Yorkers are not ready for this. Let's see. It says here, New York State lawmakers on Friday moved to strip the governor of temporary emergency powers he was granted last year to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. So I guess they're the ones who voted to allow him to be able to do this. So they're going to, you know, they brought him into this. They're going to take him out. The state Senate, in a 43-20 vote, approved the bill, which would revoke Cuomo's power to issue new orders related to coronavirus while allowing current orders to remain in effect, albeit with great legislative oversight. The bill still was being debated Friday in the Assembly, which is expected to pass it. The effort came as the Democratic governor dealt with two major scandals, a cover-up of COVID-19 nursing home death data by Cuomo's administration and accusations by three women that he sexually harassed them. NBC New York reported earlier this week that the Democratic leaders of the state, Senate, and Assembly again, the Democratic leaders, this is his own party, that they had reached a deal to revoke Cuomo's emergency powers that would allow issues such as COVID lockdowns to be determined by local authorities. Cuomo has suggested he is willing to sign the bill. Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart Cousins, a Democrat of Westchester County, said, quote, I think everyone understands where we were back in March and where we are now. We certainly see the need for a quick response, but also want to move toward a system of increased oversight and review. The public deserves to have checks and balances. This legislation creates a new system with increased input while at the same time ensuring New Yorkers continue to be protected. That's interesting. So it seems to me she's trying to frame it as, you know, we're not necessarily doing this to punish the governor. We just think it's time for more oversight. And I feel like that may be a way of sort of trying to have it both ways. In other words, if you want to take this as us taking action against the governor in a punitive way, or at the very least, we're not sure that we can trust him any further, so we're going to kind of we're going to pull back on his executive power a bit. You can take it that way, or you can take it as, yeah, we just think it's time for more oversight because where we were as we were plunging headlong into this crisis is a little different from where we are now, which is hopefully we're all staring at the light at the end of the tunnel finally, so we're just going to exercise a little more oversight. You know, you can kind of take it, it's kind of like, it's a way of having it both ways. It's kind of like, say, for example, Mitch McConnell saying, yeah, clearly Trump incited the riots and he is morally responsible for what happened on January 6th, but not guilty. Not guilty. No. Oh, and I'll support him if he's the nominee in 2024, of course. I mean, he's totally guilty of inciting the riots, but yeah, no, he's not guilty, and I will support him in the future. Absolutely, yes. You know, I mean, that is part of the art of politics, where you can kind of try to have it both ways. Melanie Laliberte, I hope I'm saying that last name somewhat correctly, says, crazy tough decisions he and other governors had and have to make, but the lying was not okay. Got to be able to trust your leaders in a crisis. Oh, absolutely. And it's like I said, too, what a difference a year makes. You know, we talked about this the other day when Mike Doyle called in. Andrew Cuomo, I mean, the guy won an Emmy. He is an Emmy award-winning governor because of these press briefings, these daily press briefings he was doing. And people were contrasting him with Trump and talking about how, you know, Trump tries to come out and just be sunshine and roses and sugarcoat everything. Andrew Cuomo is able to walk that line of giving us the cold, hard facts, no matter how bad they are, but managing to still be reassuring at the same time by seeming like he's in control and we're taking decisive action. And yes, it's a terrible situation, but we're doing what we got to do to get through it. And we will get through it. After all, we're New York. We're New Yorkers. We persevere. We get through it and whatnot. And hey, I gave him credit too. I thought he was doing a great job of projecting that as well. And I mean, it got to a point. I mean, there was so much enthusiasm for how Andrew Cuomo was handling things at one point. I don't think anyone took it seriously. I certainly didn't. But there was even chatter. There was murmurs of, you know, maybe the DNC will figure out a way to swap out Biden and put in Andrew Cuomo, and Andrew Cuomo can be the nominee. And he can go on to beat Trump, and he'll be our new president. Again, I don't think anyone took it that seriously, but that was out there, right? And now look at him now. I mean, I think he will survive all this. I think, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not predicting, but, you know, what a difference a year makes. Charles Richardson says, so they're okay with his current COVID decisions and won't revoke them, but he can't make any more COVID decisions. Yep, perfect sense. Well, I mean, I think it makes sense if you fundamentally agree with the restrictions that are still in place, then fine. You know, leave the restrictions that are currently in place still in place. But what they're suggesting, what they're doing, which I guess they're going to do, is by restricting him from making any further decisions, it allows the legislature to say, well, we're going to decide when these restrictions that he put in place go away. It really kind of doesn't matter, right? Because either way, they're taking the power away from him, so they can decide. They're saying we're going to decide whether to keep these restrictions in place. They can change their minds at any time, right? If they take this power away from him, they can turn right around and say, okay, now that we have the power, we're going to go ahead and revoke these decisions that he made ourselves. We're just taking the power away from him. So I don't think it matters either way, really. Personally, I mean, I certainly wouldn't be taking any restrictions away, not now. I'm losing my mind over these governors in like Texas and Mississippi. I think Alabama backtracked on it, but the lifting of the mask mandates and whatnot, it's like now is not the. Can we just try to get through the next couple of months until everyone who wants a vaccine can get it? Jesus. But anyway, that's a little bit of a side issue. Let's see. Cuomo has issued nearly 100 orders related to the coronavirus pandemic, according to debate in the Senate on Friday morning. Wow, that many. Senator Andrew Lanza, Republican of Staten Island, on Friday complained that the bill would not prevent Cuomo from acting unilaterally and continuing directives he has issued under the emergency powers authorization. Lanza, who said he would vote against the bill for that reason, blasted what he called, quote, one-man rule and the effects from, quote, when you have one man with absolute power over your lives, unquote. Lanza also said, quote, if I would have told anyone 2 years ago that we were going to stand by and let a governor to tell these student athletes that they couldn't play or tell students they could not put on a play, people would say, you're crazy. No way. No, how is that happening? Unquote. Well, now I would disagree with what he is saying, what he is suggesting, because, it's like we talked about with Dave Ridley the other day when he called, because Ridley doesn't like what we've done here in New Hampshire and what Governor Sununu has done and the restrictions that he's put in place. And, I say, well, nobody likes it, right? But it's extraordinary times call for extraordinary matters. Look, in theory, if a lot of things go right, we are close to the end of this thing. I'm not saying we're close to things getting back completely to normal, but if what the Biden administration has said, if what President Joe Biden said himself is correct, if by the end of May we can get every American who wants the vaccine to be able to get the vaccine by the end of May, can we all just do our best to get there with as little sickness and death as possible? It's not that far away. We really are almost to the end of this. If we can all just be smart and not send numbers spiraling back up, as I'm worried we're in the process of doing now, because numbers were trending down because the combination of the vaccinations beginning, I forget how many million people have been vaccinated now. Still got a long way to go. But with the number of vaccinations that have already happened, combined with the wearing of masks and the social distancing that we've been doing, even though we could be doing a lot better if everyone would just play along and not be like, oh, what about my freedom and my liberty and blah, 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 and Trump and Jesus and blah, blah, blah. If everybody would just work together, we could do a whole lot better. But at least the numbers were beginning to come down. But then the numbers stopped coming down. They plateaued. And now they're starting to tick back up. And you've got in Texas, Greg Abbott, the man is a psycho. This is not the time where you lift the mask mandate. This is not the moment. Dude, just hang in there for a little longer. Okay? Please. And then we can finally get this behind us. It doesn't make sense. I know why he's doing it. And what's the lieutenant governor, Dan Patrick, in Texas? He's just as bad. Them and Ron DeSantis in Florida. These people are psychotic. But I know what's going on here, right? It's the only reason this is happening in Texas. I really believe that, because remember what happened before? How did they end up with a mask mandate in Texas before? Little recent history. You remember what happened? Texas became the hot spot. You know, the hot spot. What is the hot spot in the United States? It moves around. At one point, for a long time early in the crisis, it was New York. New York City was the hot spot, right? Well, for a while, it was Texas, because Texas wasn't doing anything, because they're Texas and freedom and liberty and Trump and Jesus, right? Texas, they don't have to do anything, right? And then it got out of control. COVID got so out of control and was spreading so fast in Texas, all of a sudden, Greg Abbott flies into a panic. And because he didn't know what else to do, he said, all right, I guess we'll do a mask mandate. And guess what? Numbers started to come down in Texas. Do you remember how bad it actually got in Texas? There were cities in Texas where they were trying to bring in refrigeration trucks because they kept running out of places to put the dead bodies because the morgues were full. That's how bad it got. Just like what happened in New York earlier in this crisis when they had to do the same thing there. I always like to bring that up, too, as a reminder for the people who still refuse to take this seriously or think, oh, it's just the flu. What's the big deal? No. When you're having to bring in refrigeration trucks just to stuff dead bodies into because you got nowhere else to put them, sorry, it ain't the flu and it's not a hoax and you're stupid. Okay? So let's get on board here. Anyway, so it got really bad in Texas. So finally, Greg Abbott said, all right, we'll do the mask mandate. And it worked. It was working. And the only reason, I truly believe, the only reason he's lifting it now is because of what happened with that storm that affected the Texas power grid. He's doing this as to distract everybody in Texas who might be upset, who might be asking questions of their state government in Texas. Oh, maybe we do need some sort of regulation, or maybe the Texas power grid isn't as perfect as you all told us it was. And so Greg Abbott goes, oh, no, people are upset with me because, I presided over this terrible calamity. I'm not saying it's Greg Abbott's fault, by the way, just to be clear. But I'm just saying, but politically, who are you going to blame? You're going to blame your quote unquote leader, right? So Greg Abbott panics because people are asking him questions about the Texas power grid. So now he says, oh, you know what? Here, I need to appeal to my base. I'm going to remind my base that I don't really believe in science and lift the mask mandate, and then they'll love me again. They'll be like, oh, yeah, Governor Abbott, he doesn't believe in all that fancy science and pandemic stuff and all that nonsense. He lifted the mask mandate because he finally realized it's all a hoax. And yeah, we got our freedom back. And now their numbers are going to spike back up. And unfortunately, what happens in Texas doesn't stay in Texas because, people travel. So thanks, Texas. What is encouraging, though, is there are, I keep seeing in the news, these businesses in Texas that are pushing back on that, saying, oh, no, we don't care if there's a mask mandate or not. I've been pleasantly surprised by this, by the pushback, actually. A lot of businesses are saying, we don't care if there's a mask mandate or not. You're going to continue to be required to wear a mask to come into our business because we are going to continue to take this seriously. Which is great. Good for them. Because, again, it's so maddening. And I use this analogy, and I'll use it again, or this metaphor. And I know it's a little violent, but I use it because I also think it's very apt and accurate. When I see so many Americans in states like Texas, or the leadership, quote unquote, in states like Texas and Alabama and Mississippi, or again, Alabama backtracked on lifting the mask mandate. But I see people acting like, oh, okay, we're just gonna stop with the masks and the social distancing. Let's just open everything back up. Let's just go ahead and do it. Good enough. We've done well enough with COVID, right? While we're still a couple of months away from everybody being able to have access to the vaccine, I look at this country, and America, to me, it's like a marathon runner. You've got a marathon runner who's been running this race since, last March, about a year, right? You've got this marathon runner who's been running this race, and it's been a really hard race. And there's the finish line, and the runner is finally, almost to the finish line, is about to finally finish the race. And then right before getting to the finish line, the marathon runner says, you know what? I don't think I want to finish this race. I know I'm almost there, but I don't think I really want to finish it. And then the marathon runner pulls out a gun and blows his own head off instead of just finishing the race. That's what America is like when I see Americans just saying, oh, yeah, well, we're almost to the end of this pandemic. Oh, well, screw it. We're just going to do away with the masks now and just put everything back and not worry about it. Guys, we're almost there. I mean, I know we're a country heavily populated by right-wing conspiracy theorists, but even some of you, even in all your lunacy, you must be able to see we really are almost there. You must be able to see by now, this is not a hoax, right? It's not a hoax. You got 500,000 dead and counting. And I hate to tell you, but the 500,000 that are dead, those are not crisis actors, okay? No matter what Alex Jones tells you, those are real people who really died. Not to mention the untold numbers of people who got COVID and have long-term complications from it. I might be one of those people. I mean, we've talked about it on the show, and that's been an ongoing topic in our household. I ended up in the emergency room on Christmas night, 2019, before we knew about COVID, but we know now it was already in the country at that point. I ended up in the ER that night, and I ended up getting diagnosed with asthma. And asthma is something that, usually you find out when you're pretty young, you've got asthma, usually when you're a kid, right? There I am in my 40s getting told I have asthma. I think I had COVID, and I think it permanently damaged my lungs. And that's why I now have to use, it's easily manageable, right? I mean, I use an Advair inhaler once a day to keep my lungs working well, but I never had asthma before. Then all of a sudden I have asthma. I think I may have had COVID, and I think it may have permanently damaged my lungs, because that's one of the dangers of COVID. That's why, too, I get so crazy when these people, well, it's got a 99% survival rate, so what's the big deal? Well, first of all, even 1% of all the people who get COVID, you dying, you still end up with more than 500,000 dead people. That's 500,000's a big number, right? But also, too, you can there's no guarantee that, if you get it, you're just going to be really sick for a short time and then just get over it and life goes on. A lot of people get it, and they have some sort of long-term or even permanent effects from it. It can damage your lungs, as I think, like I said, that's the theory, that may be what happened to me. It can damage your heart. It can damage your brain. There's a lot that can happen with this insidious virus. And now we've got these variants out there which make it even more contagious. This is not the time for everyone to just say, I'll use another analogy. It's like, it's like a college kid who, goes to school for 4 years, and then, in the last month of the final semester before graduation just says, I think I'm going to drop out. Come on, guys. We're almost there. Can we just hang in there a little longer? Please. Christian Lacoste says Dave Ridley can go kick rocks. Well, he certainly has a right to do that if he wants. I would never want to interfere with his right. Our friend Scott Perry from Courtesy Call is in the chat room. Episode 8 of Courtesy Call, a great political podcast, will be out and available on Sunday. By the way, my appearance last night on the Dr. Kevin Show is available online on the Ohm Times Radio Network. Ohm as in O-M. Ohm. So you can check that out if you missed it when we discussed politics on that show. We do need to take a quick break. I'm going to play this. I know I've already played it once this week, but I just love it so much. This guy, Philip Markle, what's Q got to do with it? Oh, by the way, condolences to any QAnon people. I know you were waiting for President Trump to be re-inaugurated yesterday on March 4th, but I guess it didn't work out. What are you going to do? All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back. More Matt Connarton Unleashed coming up. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. We are well into hour number 2, numero dos, of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, and we're back on Comcast 97 in Manchester as well. Of course, streaming online, you can go to mattconnerton.com, WMNHradio.org, Raw Talk Online. Actually, if you go to mattconnerton.com and click listen live, all the options are there for you. And of course, on the Facebook, on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page, please give that a like if you haven't done so already. But of course, I would love to take your call at 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can text me at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton, or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And I just realized I didn't have Twitter open on my browser. So someone might have tweeted me, and I don't even know it. I was very, if you're just joining us, I was very, at the top of the show today, I was, a little discombobulated. I had to get a new cell phone right before the show because my old cell phone was not functioning correctly, and I was getting that done, and because I had to transfer everything from one phone to the other phone, et cetera, and I was rushing around before the show today. So, but it is Friday, which means coming up at 6 p.m. right here from the studios of WMNH, we have Granite State of Mind live with the great Rob Azevedo, and then it is Friday. So coming up tonight at 8 p.m. from 8 to 10 right here from the studios of WMNH, Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C. And I have the honor and privilege of being Paul's co-host on that program, along with our great friend Dan Randlett. So we look forward to that. And I believe the subject of tonight's show is supergroups. Where you have, famous people from different bands or solo careers or whatnot, and they form a band. And then you see how long that band lasts because you've got multiple big egos in one group and everything. But I'm really looking forward to tonight's show. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And I know Paul will be excited that the Facebook Live camera system and everything is working again properly, because I know he's trying to figure out what he was going to do. Oh, my new phone is making noise. I have my new phone, my Galaxy S21, right? I think. Anyway, I'm excited to play with this after that sounded wrong, but you know what I meant. Anyway, so I want to remind you, of course, too, as we go into the weekend, that we are proudly sponsored by the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan, right across the street from us at 1000 Elm Street. I can see them from here, all lit up over there. I can wave, but we're on a delay, so they won't see it, but that's okay. They have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They've got these really cool Hop Knot face masks. They're only $10. And if you buy a face mask there and then you say you order carry out when you go to pick up your food from the Hop Knot, you got to wear a mask to enter the building. If you're wearing your Hop Knot face mask, you get 10% off, which is pretty cool. So make sure you stop in over there. Say hello to Kenny. Say hello to Trudy. Tell us more, Trudy. She loves that. It's a great place. And by the way, too, they do everything very safely there. And that's one of the reasons why we're so honored and proud to have them as a sponsor. The staff is masked at all times, including out back in the kitchen. The tables are nice and spread apart. And, they do clean and sanitize and disinfect diligently. They take COVID-19 very seriously there, which is important. So, So please continue to support them. Great food, great service, and a wonderful family that owns and operates it. By the way, I also see Mike Pelopita joins us in the Facebook live chat. Mike is from another one of our wonderful sponsors here at WMNH, Queen City Cabinetry. So hello, Mike. Mike's a big supporter. And the business, of course, Queen City Cabinetry, a big supporter of all the programming here at the station. Of course, you've also got the Regency Collection and the OG of WMNH sponsors, CGI Business Solutions. They've been here from the very beginning, since before even I was here. Which reminds me, I forget exactly, speaking of beginnings, I forget exactly when it falls, but I know we're right around the 5-year anniversary of The Morning Show with Peter White. Or when it started, it was The Morning Show with Peter White and the Moose, and then eventually the Moose left, and it became The Morning Show with Peter White. But it will be 5 years coming up soon, or maybe it was today, I'm not sure. But I know it's around this time sometime, of 5 years of The Morning Show with Peter White. And then on April 4th, will be the 4-year anniversary of Matt Connarton Unleashed here at WMNH. So really looking forward to that. 4 years gone in the blink of an eye, I'll tell you. I started this show as a podcast, just a weekly 1-hour online show back in the summer of 2011, so about 10 years ago. And then 4 years ago, I had the opportunity to bring the show here to WMNH, and It's been a fantastic experience and continues to be wonderful, and I hope that I continue here into the future. As I was reminding everyone, actually it was yesterday when Christian Lacoste was here. You know, every once in a while, I'll have a conversation with someone where they'll ask me, Matt, what is your objective? What is your goal with your show? What do you hope to accomplish with it? And I my answer is always the same. I tell everyone this. My main objective with this program is to come in here every day from 4 to 6 p.m. and not get fired. And so far, so good. But give us a call. If you're going to call us soon, if you're going to call us, do it soon, 603-250-6007, because Rob Azevedo is live at 6 p.m. So that means, we begin to wind things up a little early here. We'll play some music in between the two shows, but I'll only be taking calls up until about 20 minutes of 6, because at that point we'll begin to wrap up the talking portion of the show. We like to play some good music in between shows for the changeover. So don't wait until the last minute, please. Let's see. I saw Jared Martineau in the Facebook live chat. Jared says, I don't agree with his politics or even his gonzo-esque style of journalism, but after meeting Dave Ridley a few times, he's a good dude. Yeah, I mean, I like Dave. I was a bit dismayed at how stubborn he was that day about addressing Jenny as Jenny. That's what she likes to be called. And I still don't quite understand why Dave had such a problem just doing that. But, enough said about that. I think I wanted to, I don't know if we'll spend much time on this specifically, but Mike Pence is a bit of an enigma at the moment. Former Vice President Mike Pence, the man who, boy, I'll tell you what, they were ready to hang him on January 6th. Am I right? No, literally, they were ready to hang him. They had a gallows and everything. And they were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." But he had been pretty quiet. He chose not to. Allegedly, he was invited to speak at CPAC this year, or Cult PAC or Trump PAC, whatever you want to call it. And he declined that invitation. I can see why. I can see where things might have been a bit awkward. There were people at CPAC who would have liked to have seen him hung. I don't think Pence was included. I could be wrong, though. I'm trying to remember. Trump, at one point during his speech at CPAC, he did publicly recite an enemies list. He went through all the names of all the Republicans who he felt had done him dirty by not going along with the big lie that the election was stolen from him. He mentioned people like Liz Cheney, Mitt Romney, and on and on. Ben Sass, called him Little Ben Sass, which is odd because I thought Ben Sass was a taller man. Anyway, I don't think Mike Pence was in the mix. I mean, he certainly, hi Barry. He certainly tweeted about Mike Pence on the day that the insurrection was happening. Some of you might recall that while they were chanting hang Mike Pence and looking for him with the apparent intent of killing him, President Trump decided to tweet out how disappointed he was in Mike Pence. Not the most helpful thing if you're concerned about the vice president's safety. Anyway, I have said on this show that I personally believe that Mike Pence's political career is over, because I don't see how he comes back from this, which is an odd thing to say in a way, because he didn't do anything wrong, right? In all of this, he did what he was constitutionally required to do. You know, I know that the QAnon people think that Mike Pence, as vice president, had the power to just declare that Trump was the true winner of the election. There was something about envelopes. He'd be given 2 envelopes, and he was, again, this is part of the Q conspiracy theory. I think that he had the option of which envelope to choose, and he could choose the Trump envelope, and then Trump would be inaugurated. All completely absurd. It doesn't even make sense. How would that work? Like, I mean, even just practically, how would that work if the vice president could just decide which candidate to certify? That would mean that one party could control the White House forever, because whoever was vice president every election could just decide whether or not to go with the will of the people and just decide for themselves. Oh, our party's just going to remain in power again no matter what. Like, it makes no sense on any level. But now that Trump, I mean, just, with his comments during the speech that he gave on January 6th and leading up to that, and then tweeting about how disappointed that he was in Mike Pence, I think that ended Mike Pence's career right there, because the Republican Party is Trump's party. Trump is the future of the Republican Party. That has clearly been established and decided. If Trump can stay out of prison, and if he can remain healthy, he will very likely be the Republican nominee for the presidency in 2024. It is still very much his party. And polling data shows most Republicans do believe the big lie that the election was stolen by Biden from Trump. I've even seen polls that show a majority of, or at least a plurality of Republicans actually are sympathetic to QAnon. So I don't see how Pence comes back from any of that. If Trump tells Republicans we don't like Mike Pence, then Republicans say, okay, we don't like Mike Pence. I mean, it's very much, I've been saying this all along, the modern Republican Party is very much like, like high school, where Trump is the captain of the football team, right? So, and if he says, as the captain of the football team, if he says, you know what, I don't like that guy anymore, then all the other popular kids have to say, oh, okay, we don't like that guy anymore either. And that's how it works. As soon as Trump says something mean about you on Twitter, or did, he can't anymore, or assigned you an insulting nickname, then every Republican in the country says, oh, okay, we don't like him anymore either. Even before Trump was president, like when Trump was running for president, he decided he didn't like John McCain. What happened? Next thing you know, Republicans are going on cable news talking all this trash about John McCain. All these Republicans who never had anything bad to say about him before, who even called him a war hero. Now they're all trashing him just because Trump said he didn't like him. So I don't see how Mike Pence comes back from this. And I believe Mike Pence's political career is over. I don't think he'll ever get elected to public office as a Republican again. But it's interesting to me to see how he attempts, because Mike Pence, I'm sure, does not want his political career to be over. Mike Pence would like the opportunity to possibly be president. Because Mike Pence, I mean, look, you don't accept when a presidential nominee invites you to join the ticket. You don't say yes just because you want to be vice president for 4 years or 8 years, and then you don't want anything more from that, unless you're Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney apparently was perfectly content, by all accounts, to be George W. Bush's vice president for 8 years and didn't want anything more than that. But then again, depending on who you ask, I mean, some would say, well, Dick Cheney actually was president for 8 years. But we won't get into all of that. But I'm sure that Mike Pence would like to be president and does not want this to be the end of his political career. So what does he do? How does he, is there a way back for him? Is there a way for him to thread that needle where he can somehow appease the Republican base, which is the Trump base? Can he somehow appease those people who are so angry at him, who wanted to hang him because they felt that he had done their Messiah dirty by certifying that vote? Does he somehow appease those people and get back in their good graces? Well, he can't. I mean, the obvious thing would be for him to say, look, I apologize. I'm sorry. You're right. I should have, I mean, he's, not delusional enough to be sincere about it, but I suppose he could insincerely say, I'm sorry, guys. I should have chosen the other envelope on that day. I should have certified Trump as the president for another term. My bad. No, he can't do that. He'd look absurd. I mean, some Republicans might buy that, but you need independents to win the presidency if he wants to run for president in the future. So that wouldn't work, right? Because it's among independents where elections are won or lost. Republicans will vote for the Republican candidate generally. Democrats will vote for the Democratic candidate generally. You got to win over independents, and every independent in the country, which is 41% of the national electorate, would think that that was insane. Really? Now you're just saying, oh, sorry, I should have bought into QAnon conspiracy theories and declared Trump the president? Come on. But we have a clue of how, based on a recent op-ed, of how Mike Pence might try to thread that needle, or apparently is trying to thread the needle, but I don't think it's going to get him anywhere. But let's take this call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt. It is Charles Richardson.
Charles Richardson. How are you, my friend? I think this is the first time. This is the first time you and I have ever actually spoken. Well, I'm sorry, what?
I'm doing fan-damn-tastic. I think we may have a delay on there.
Maybe. I was just saying, I think this is the first time you and I have ever spoken vocally outside of email.
I know it's like, we got your show on the station all by not speaking a word to each other.
Right.
Just imagine if we had an actual relationship.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's right.
How would we break up? By text? I don't get that.
I think now the way people break up is they just ghost. They just disappear.
Is that what it is?
I
have no idea. I've been married for like 9 years, so it's like I've been so out of the dating game. I don't have to worry about reaching down and saying, "Are you really a female?"
Right.
Or anything like that. So it's like I'm glad to be out of that world.
Sure.
Thank God.
Sure. You like the married life?
Next question. No.
Oh, geez.
Listen, married life is like a roller coaster, and I'm not really fond of roller coasters, and I hate heights.
Uh-huh.
But listen, when it's at the peak, it's the greatest feeling in the world. It's just when you go to that nosedive and you start arguing and bickering, and I'm going to try to use my words politely because we're on FM radio, but yeah. It can be hell sometimes. And now we have a 5-year-old that we adopted a few years ago. He's hell too, so it's like, oh, this is great. Married life is so beautiful.
Wow.
Then you take a look at different ways to like smash your head up against the wall or something like that. But it has its joys. It really does. Again, like I said, I don't have to worry about dating in this world now. How many sexes do we have? Do we have like 50 different sexes? They got transgender, binary. I can't keep up, man. I can't keep up.
Oh, well, There's a difference. I think there's a distinction between sex and gender, but I'm very libertarian on all that. I just want everyone to feel free to be who they are or who they want to be.
I agree, but listen. When you go ahead and reach the age of adulthood, you should have that choice. I just feel these kids that are like 12 years old saying, "Oh, I need to be a girl. I need to be a boy, but I'm not." Why is that? I mean, what are the parents teaching these kids?
Right.
I mean, back in the day, you are who you are, and you just made the best of it. I mean, I'm sorry. Listen, I've grown accustomed to my mini me. I don't want to lose it. I mean, I treasure that.
See, it just makes me glad that I don't have any children. I have I'm an odd duck in this way. I have no paternal instinct whatsoever. Like, I've never even had an inkling of wanting to be a parent. And there's actually many, many reasons why. It does look like it looks like a lot of stress. It looks like a lot of hard decisions. Plus, you got to feed them, and I think when they're really young, you got to clean them or something. I don't know. It just looks like it's more than I can handle.
Yeah, something about diapers and rashes and powder around the genitalia. I don't know if I could do that.
That sounds miserable to me. Now,
that sounds like give me the gun.
Right.
Now. And I'm not talking about the kid, I'm talking about me.
Right. Well, of course, yes, absolutely, absolutely. You adopted a sorry.
But we are so happy. We are so happy here at Raw Talk to have your show. You are awesome. You got 2 great hours every day, and just promoting the crap out of you. It's awesome. And
thank you.
I know we've gotten a ton of feedback that you're a welcome addition to the station.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. By the way, Rob Azevedo is here from Granite State of Mind.
Hello.
And he has, how many children do you have, Rob?
I have 2.
You have 2.
Yeah, I have a daughter in college, and I have a son at Central.
Charles Richardson is on the show and on the phone
here. You don't count, Rob. You
Okay.
have somebody in college. That doesn't count as a kid.
Oh,
you're right. Yeah, yes, you're right. 19. She's still...
That don't count. That's the easy way out.
Yeah. I figure with the teen, anytime there's a teen at the end of their number, 19, 14, that makes them a kid. 20, they're cut off.
To me, it just all sounds very stressful.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I take a look at the age bracket, like the legality of who you can date. As soon as they hit 18, they're an adult, and I'm going to ask them, okay, where's the U-Haul? Aren't you supposed to be moving today?
Do you have kids?
Just saying.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I'm dreading the day when my 5-year-old grows up and gets to high school, and I'm gonna have to teach him about maybe middle school.
Oh, you should be dreading the day. Yeah, you should definitely be dreading the day.
I'm dreading when he has to go back to school on Monday. What are you talking about? That's just next week.
Why, you're going to miss?
Yeah.
So you're going to miss him being around?
Oh, he's a terror. He really is.
Where are you exactly geographically, sir?
I am down here in sunny Florida.
Beautiful.
Oh.
I love
I'm here
Florida.
I'm here when the rest of the world is freezing. I'm over here in my shorts and going to the beach.
What part of Florida?
You know where Fort Myers is?
Yeah, of course, sure.
Yeah, I'm not there. Further north, it's a little town called Port Charlotte. The only one thing that you can identify this town with is Hurricane Charlie. That's it.
Oh.
No other identifying marks here.
No music scene down there in Port Charlie?
I would be much happier if there was.
Yeah.
There would be at least some entertainment going on here. You know what we got entertainment? We got axe throwing. That's the entertainment we have.
Well, we have that up here now on that's big up here in Manchester.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's right on Gay Street. There's a whole axe throwing business. So you can go rent an axe booth and bring a bunch of friends. I was supposed to go last Saturday, and people throw axes, man.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea.
That's a thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
It is. I mean, it's like, what happened to the days where I used to throw darts? No, now we're going to throw axes. Mm-hmm. Okay, something that could kill me. Let's go to a bar where somebody's holding a deadly weapon. They're going to throw it at a bullseye, not me, right?
It sounds exciting. I don't know.
It's straight up, man. A lot of people doing it.
I wouldn't do it. I'm very clumsy. I'd be the person who ends up accidentally. I'd figure out a way to accidentally kill myself with the axe.
Sure. Yeah, I believe that.
Oh yeah. I'm a klutz. Listen, Charles Richardson, thank you so much for the call, my friend. We do need to begin to wrap up because Rob needs time to get in here for his show. So we'll play some great music in between the programs. But it is wonderful to finally talk to you, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be on. And again, we're very happy to have you on our station as well.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. And let's do this more often. Call anytime. We're here Monday. We're here Monday through Friday, as you know.
Yeah, I think I'm aware of that.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the info. Take care, you guys.
All right, Charles. Take care.
Charles.
Bye-bye. All right, Charles Richardson.
See, that's cool. You get calls from around the country.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Well, that's a wonderful thing about being online. You know, in a sense, there really is no such thing as truly local radio because everything's available everywhere.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
I just think that's cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, even, the morning show, Peter likes to keep it very local and very Manchester centric, but he still gets, like Tony D calls him from Philadelphia and, the people call from Florida. Like,
and his buddy down in Florida, Don
Tibbetts.
Tibbetts, yeah.
Yeah. We have a call. We'll grab this quickly, and then I want to hear about what you've got coming up. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Yeah, they're having a no mask party down here in Philly tonight. You believe this crap?
Are they really? That's so.
Yes, they are. They're having a no mask freaking concert that I talked about like 2 months ago to you about.
Yeah.
That's tonight.
Oh, that's awful.
It's going to start going all spreading.
You freaking believe that?
It's like I always say, the America, we're like a marathon runner. We're about to cross the finish line, and instead we decide to just pull a gun out and blow our heads off instead. We're so
I'm about
close.
to go there and nothing but a Speedo and a mask and see what kind of attention I can make tonight.
And what an easy time of year to just finish the race because it's not July. We don't, wearing a mask now is not asking that much.
Right.
Oh, who's that? That's a new voice. Who's that?
That's Rob Azevedo from Granite State of Mind.
Hello.
What's up, Rob?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, brother. How
Good.
you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. Rob's going to be live next, so we've actually got to wrap this up, Tony. But
okay.
But stay safe. You didn't get your second shot yet, right? That's still coming up.
No, I got it.
Oh, you did. You got both shots. All right, good. Well,
yeah.
We'll
I'm vaccinated. I'm going to the event tonight. Nothing but a Speedo and a mask, and I'm going to have my vaccinated sticker on my chest.
Good.
And we'll see what I can make. See
what
I can make happen.
All right. Lots of picks.
Yes, lots of picks. I'll talk to you.
All right, Tony. Take care. All right, our friend Tony D from Philadelphia. What do you have coming up tonight,
All right,
Rob?
Tonight, another installment of Granite State of Mind's Takeover. That's when we let some of the local musicians come in. They play a little bit of music like they usually do on the series, and then come 6:30, they take over the dials and they pick what they want to hear. So we have two Night Blinders. Night Blinders, they're a Manchester-based band, and Mike Gratton, who is one of the owners of the Shashkeen and the lead singer of the Night Blinders, and Lee Viathan. He is the drummer for the Night Blinders and a number of other bands when there were bands. So they're coming in, and I know they're taking it very seriously, so I know they're going to be like, let us pound out this one song you want us to play, and then we're taking over the dials.
Oh, very nice.
So that's what's going on.
Very cool.
Can I ask you a quick question? I was listening to you. So for 10 years, you've been doing this show. Did you cover politics even 10 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So who was on your hit list back then?
When I first started, it was just a weekly 1 hour podcast, and it would change. I mean, it was hard to, I'm an independent, so I have complaints about everybody, so it was still the Obama administration. So, and Obama, things I liked about him and things I didn't. So I'd find things that I didn't like. And I remember complaining about John Boehner a lot, but it was, I had to do a lot more show prep back then because politics wasn't as wild as it is now.
Sure.
Now it's much more
now it just drops in your lap.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's in 4 years of Trump, it was like, every day it was very easy to just, I'd barely have to do any prep at all. It was like, oh, what did he tweet today? And
I don't understand. So I'm watching, all the news stations, CNN, MSNBC. His Twitter's gone. Why do they continue to talk about the statements that he makes? If you hate him that much, remove him from your mouth.
The problem is, though, he's not going away. I mean, he's still the most popular person in the Republican Party. If he stays out of prison and stays healthy, he'll probably be the Republican nominee in 2024. It's incredible.
You don't think he's not going to be at least cuffed at some point over the next...
I'd love to see it happen.
Oh, you're going to see... you have to believe that over the next 4 years, you're going to see a Trump going into jail, whether it's one of his two sons. Somebody's going in.
I think it's very likely. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I hope to see it.
So that's good. So you got Pauly C tonight at 8 o'clock?
Yes,
Good
Retro
deal.
Spectrum Radio with Pauly C. So I'll be back tonight at 8 for that. And everybody stick around, 6 p.m. Rob Azevedo with Granite State of Mind. Thanks for popping in, Rob. Always a good time. And with that, we will bid you a fond farewell. I'll talk at y'all in a couple hours with Paul and Dan. Rob is next, and I'll leave you with this. Thanks, everybody.